Hello, 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 everybody. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Hopefully, you can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, CK Netson. Hello. Hello. We are waiting for Southern Vegan Eats to come on. And so, we're going to be talking about books, tools, and resources to help you on this vegan and plant-based journey. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So waiting for her to get on. Tag all your people, tag all your folks, because we are here and we are live. We are talking about resources, books, tools, and all the good things, okay? Because that's what we need on this plant-based and vegan journey. I'm going to be sharing some, and so is Southern Vegan Eats. I'm waiting for her to join. So, hello, 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 everybody. It's Wholeness Wednesday. It is time for us to get down and get educated in this space.
No.
Hello.
I wanted to make sure my camera was right.
I know. Okay. Exactly. Hey, everybody. Tag your people. I see you all coming all in. Hello, hello. We're going to get adjusted as folks are coming in. So thank you so much for joining. Yes, yes, yes. Tag your people. Hello, Coco Productions. I think that's Kina B. Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. Come on through. Come on through. We're on Wholeness Wednesdays with Dr. Tiana Jenkins and Southern Vegan Eats. Y'all come on, we're going to be talking about tools and resources and books, and we're going to be sharing with you all some really important material and going through that material, right? Because some books resonate with others more so, right? And so we want to share enough for you all.
All right, let's see. Try to give myself some brightness. There we go.
I know, okay. Look, am I bright enough?
Yeah, there it
You
is.
know,
Like,
look, us ladies with the chocolate skin, honey, we got to keep the lights bright.
Brighten it up.
So y'all can see us, okay? See all this glory, okay?
All right.
I just started my vegan journey to hopefully help with endometriosis symptoms. Excited to learn stuff from you all. Thank you. Hello. Is that, how do you say it? Is it SY Mama? Yes. Thank you for joining. If you are not following, please make sure you're following at Southern Vegan Eats, which is my vegan bestie on the other end there, Azure Gardner, and follow at Dr. Tiana Jenkins. Collectively, we have been on this journey in plant-based and veganism for 15 plus years. And so we are here sharing the real deal for free with you all on Wednesdays, tools, resources, recipes, and all that. So we do a collection of sharing all the goodies. Sometimes we cook and all that good stuff. And stay on, because we're going to be sharing some good tools and resources, but we're also going to be talking to you all about our 21-day detox and vegan challenge just coming up in April. And we want to make sure you all join along.
Y'all better get ready. It's going to be so great. I'm excited. So I grabbed
get ready.
Because, you know, we're sharing some books with you guys tonight, and I grabbed extra books because I know me and Tiana both do a lot of reading. We're sharing 3 books a piece, and then we're going to share 1 book together. But I was like, in case we come up with the same books.
I know, right? Because, look, we are so much alike in so many ways. We're different, but we're alike.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have the same stuff. And I'm like, I hope we're not sharing the same.
Talk about
okay?
What we're bringing to the table.
Right. Exactly. Thank you, Coco B Production. You're going to join the challenge. Make sure you inbox either myself or Southern Vegan Eats, your email addresses via DM. Please do that so we can make sure that you get the information and that it's not lost in all the algorithmness and the misinformation, okay? So we have that Coco B Productions that is going to join the challenge. So make sure you DM us both your email information, okay? And make sure you're following us. All right. All right. So, ma'am, do you want to get started? at Southern Vegan Eats? What we talking about on our books, tools, and resources? And let's kind of go into like why this is important, because we kind of
Yeah.
dip into it a little bit every time. But let's talk about why it's important for us to base this lifestyle on evidence,
Evidence.
right? And just
That's
not
the thing right
Google.
there.
Google is
Because
good.
you can get on Instagram, YouTube, Google, all the things, right? And you can get tons and tons of information, but is that information credible? So you want to make sure that you are feeding your brain with other knowledge, reading studies that have been published and verified, reading books that are written by people who have either lived the life, current, they have been through with the thing, so they know the tips that they're giving you are tried and true. Books by professors, doctors. You just want your library to be full of books that are going to keep you knowledgeable about the journey, because it's a whole lot to it. That when you look at, if you're just looking at social media, you get a lot of recipes, and you get a lot of, a lot of people kind of saying the same thing. But the books that we're going to share with you, they dive really deep, and they give you a lot of great tools when it comes to your health. Because I know for me, and it's for Dr. Tiana Jenkins over there, we went plant-based for our health. So the whole food, plant-based, vegan, that's what, the umbrella is whole food, plant-based, and then vegan kind of falls up under that, because
Right.
we went plant-based for our health.
Right.
So what that looks like is knowing what tools to use, knowing what to avoid, knowing what to seek after. And it's so many books out here, so many great books. And I would even say, if you're following someone and they're not living the life that you're seeking, make sure that you're also following people that are living the life that you're seeking. So if you're following someone that is a picture of health, and let me tell you something. I follow everybody because I love everybody, and I get good recipes, and I like to eat. But also, I make sure that I am following people that are living that lifestyle that is where they're glowing. They have health, and you can tell, okay, these people are doing what they say they're doing. Okay, so that's a big thing to me. You want to make sure that the people that you're following are looking like the direction that you're going in. Okay, they're feeding you the knowledge, they're feeding you the food, the recipes, that kind of stuff. They're going in the direction that you're going in. So if you're going towards health, make sure that the people you're following, the books you're reading, library, it can be free. You don't have to pay for books. So digital books, audio books, so many different tools, but get that knowledge in your system.
Exactly. And, it's so important to base this journey on evidence, right? So you're not doing it for a quick fix. That may be your initial reason, but for you to, my opinion, for you to like really withstand all of the challenges, ups and downs, right? Wins, etc. on this journey, you really do need to base it on evidence, right? And so it's a culmination, just like Southern Vegan Eats said over there, books that are from professors, from doctors, cookbooks, people who are bloggers, may not necessarily be professors or doctors, people who are holistic practitioners who may do and practice things that are not Western medicine, right? So things around meditation and all kind of things, right? Because we really do believe, and I can say that jointly, in holistic health. So it's just not the absence of disease, right? So it is really your mental status, your interactions, stress levels, what you're eating, your sleeping, your water intake, all of those things, right? And so it's extremely important that you base this journey on things that are evidence-based, right? And so it's okay to every now and again get a Google article or something that's blasted bright, in the media. I mean, we understand that it's all sensationalism, right? But when it gets down to hardcore things, especially if you're dealing with, like, you want to decrease, chronic stress in your life, what are things or foods and things that can support you in that process? If you're trying to connect with other people who are on this journey, right? For me, when I first started out, I did a lot of vegan junk food. However, since 8 years ago, I've transitioned to eat more whole food, plant-based with 20%, vegan processed food
Yeah.
or so or less. So you just really want to make sure that you have a really good balance of books and information. And I guess it's old school, I guess you could say. Like, I still like hardcovers. So,
Exactly.
I do
Me too.
Audible too,
Yeah,
but
I do Audible for like car trips or on the plane.
right.
Yeah, but I do love to have just a book in my hand. Just.
Right. So those are the reasons why we thought tonight would be really, really good, because we get tons of questions around just, some things that are simple questions, some things that are challenging questions. And so we wanted to share resources and tools that you can use, that you can purchase, you can download, you can access, and all that good stuff. Again, welcome to everybody that's joining. It's at Dr. Tiana Jenkins and Southern Vegan Eats, Azure Gardner here on the other end. And we do this Wednesday, this Wholeness Wednesday every week, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you see the other time zones down there as well. And we go live and share information with individuals who are beginning their journey into plant-based. They may be vegan curious or plant-based curious, or they may have been on this journey for a long, long time and are interested. We also share recipes and things of that nature. And we also bring you a little color, right, to this whole plant-based space, baby, because we have some beautiful brown sisters over here, okay, who have been successful in this lifestyle. So yeah, make sure you're tagging and sharing and all that good stuff.
All right, so I have a few books here I'm going to be sharing. Okay. I guess we'll save our book that we know is a joint book for last.
Right, exactly. And we'll save that one.
Yeah, so I have, I'm going to start with, I got to decide. I just finished this one recently. So this is Whole. And it's it's T. Colin Campbell, PhD. So yeah, doctor, right? I'm like, I thought it was doctor. Okay.
Yes, he is.
So this book, you can see, it's like Science of Nutrition, Rethinking the Science of Nutrition. Y'all, when I tell you, so it was a quick read because number one, it is full of evidence-based information and it wasn't boring. It is available on Audible, I think on Kindle as well, but you can purchase, of course, the hard copy to have in your hand. But he went over so much good information, and he talked about disease and eating for your health and things like that. And so if you have any type of illnesses or anything that is, weighing on you when it comes to eating plant-based for your health, this is a good one. It is definitely going into like whole food plant-based. That's what he's talking about here, and talking about increasing your raw food intake. The good thing about a lot of these books that we're going to be recommending, these people, they are living a plant-based life, but they also understand that everybody may not go 100% plant-based. And we understand that too.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
Yeah. And so, but what this is it's going to give you those tools to, if you don't go 100% plant-based, that you're able to really incorporate so much of this into your life that you can see a difference. And then they even tell you, in this book specifically, he talked about how you could just add a certain amount of days, maybe eating fully plant-based, and notice a tremendous difference in your health. So again, this is one that I highly recommend. I just finished reading this one in March, and yeah, this is one of my March books. But this one's on the brain, and I think you guys will enjoy it. And
repeat the title again, and so the author says
it's Whole. You guys can see it. Rethinking the Science of Nutrition. And it's Dr. T. Colin Campbell. He has a couple of books. He has a few, not a couple, probably lots, but I think I've read several other ones. But it's a bestseller.
Any questions? Right, and if there are any questions that you all have, make sure you put them down below too, so we can try to get to them as well.
Yes. So this is that would be my book one to recommend. I'm not saying it's my number one book, but I'm just saying this is one that's fresh on the brain because I just finished it up. So definitely check that out. And we will definitely, when we do the live repost, we will list the books that we share with you guys tonight.
Right. And we'll put those in the stories too. Yeah. Okay, so you want me to go with mine, with one of mine? Okay, good. Okay, so this is one right here. And so, look, now don't y'all judge me because my books be ratted and tatted, okay? All written through, fingerprints
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Yes.
I be having it, okay? So this is one I've read a couple of times. It is called The Food Prescription for Better Health.
Okay.
And it is by Dr. Baxter D. Montgomery. He's a medical doctor.
I know who that is.
And I love this book.
Yeah.
One, it breaks down, for those of you who do not know, my background is in public health and healthcare. So it breaks down, this one in particular is talking about reversing heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and other chronic diseases.
Yes.
So I am a huge public health prevention advocate around those chronic diseases because those chronic diseases can be reversed. And so I'm always interested in finding literature, books, things of that nature that talk about those particular ones. I'm specifically interested in those two. One, because they're chronic diseases that can be reversed for individuals in the United States, right? But I'm really interested in heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and other chronic illnesses because African American, yes, Black folk, Black and brown people have a higher percentage of or disproportionately impacted by those particular diseases. So this doctor, who is a medical doctor, he's in Houston. I believe it's Houston, Texas, or let's just say Texas. Okay, if you Google him up, you can find the city. But he's a medical physician, and he, along with clinical care treatments, prescribes fruits and vegetables.
Hello.
What?
That's very rare.
Very rare. And guess what else? He's a Black doctor. Oh, yes, he is.
Yes,
So for those of you who may hear people say, nobody Black who is a medical doctor or anybody who has a PhD is prescribing plants, fruits, vegetables, detoxes.
They are. They are.
Yes, they are. And let me tell you, he has been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay? Dr. Baxter Montgomery.
Yeah.
Okay? He is someone who I follow. This is the only book I think he has. Now, he's written tons of research articles, but he does have a public profile, at least his clinic does.
Yes.
And so he has a YouTube channel. He has all that kind of good stuff. So really good here. Again, of course, he talks about these diseases, but then he also goes into some detoxes that you can do as well. And he also has a numbering system that I like a lot because he also too is like, everybody's not going to go vegan. Everybody's not going to go plant-based.
Yeah.
But if you eat this, then this is the level you're going to be at.
Yes.
And if you eat this raw, juice or drink this is the level you're going to be at. So it does have some, kind of clinical terms and things in there, but they're not hard to understand for those who are like, I'm not going to be reading all that, right? It's not hard to understand, but it's really, really good. So I like this. Again, The Food Prescription for Better Health, a cardiologist's proven method to reverse heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and other chronic illnesses naturally.
Yes.
Dr. Baxter D. Montgomery. Okay?
I love that.
So y'all better get with it. Get with it.
Come on, Dr. Montgomery.
Yes, come on, Dr. Montgomery.
All right. So next up, I gotta make decisions.
I know, right?
Okay.
All right.
So,
thank you all for joining. Thank you so much. And I see that Fashion for Thought, you say he's in Houston. Thank you so much. He lives in Houston. I've heard of him. Yes. He has done some amazing work. Look, I got so many doctors that I follow. He happens to be a Black doctor, but Black doctors, Latino doctors, Indian doctors, etc. All the plethora, okay, that, practice this. So it is becoming less and less rare. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that, just piggybacking off of that, because it's becoming less rare, you really can find a holistic provider. You don't have to be with the traditional provider who is not, understanding your want to be plant-based, or if you're already plant-based, there are so many providers now that are on board with it. And not even to say that they have to be plant-based, but at least they're believing in the science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important when you're doing something, that your provider is on board with what you're doing, especially when there is so much science behind it. And it's really big, because when you think about, let me go to my next book.
Yes.
Okay, just if you want a holistic provider, you can find one. So we have Eat to Live.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, by Joel Fuhrman. So this is really amazing. Have y'all read any of these books? Let us know if you've read any of them in the comments.
Yeah.
But this one is a really good one. It's another one that is, and y'all check it out. I don't know if you have a half price bookstore. You see that right there? I paid $4.
Right.
So I go to half price books a lot because I can get really good deals. Goodwill, I find all sorts of books in there that are related to plant-based, veganism, vegetarian, all of it. So they have it all, and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg. Now, if you're looking for specific books, you might have to just go to the Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and get you. But but you can find a lot of these. I've seen in local Goodwill in the half price bookstore often. So again, this is another national bestseller. Eat to Live is my God. So it is fully loaded, y'all. It has anything you can think of, question that you have. He goes over disease. He goes over what nutrition should really look like, what your plate should look like. Talks about the SAD diet, talks about the abuse of animals. I mean, this book, and it's not a really thick book, but it is fully loaded. And so, and he also talks about weight loss, which is important because a lot of times, and I'm just going to say it, a lot of times we can think that, oh, I'm overweight, but I'm healthy. And that's not to say that you can be overweight and that you can't be overweight and healthy. Those two things can happen at the same time. But the science behind the fact that when you are in a certain weight range for your height and your age, you have a healthier life. That's just the science behind it. And so he goes into those details too. And it helps you to, he talks about whole food, plant-based eating, and how when you start to eat that way, literally the weight just falls off, because number one, all the fiber that you're getting in your system is gonna come out. So he's this is another really good one. And I'm like Tiana, this one I've read a couple of times, and I want to say I use this hashtag a lot. If y'all notice, like one of my hashtags is Eat to Live, and it's because of this book. So it's not just a hashtag I'm randomly throwing out there. It's because I really learned so much reading this, and I can go back through it, like I said, and just, oh my God, it's really good. So
isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful though to be like Eat to Live? Yeah. Because that's what we're really supposed to be doing. And I'm not talking about eating to live to where you're full in your stomach, but we should be eating foods that make us thrive, think better, have clear skin, have wellness, optimal health. All the things, right?
All things. And it doesn't, and that's the thing too. When we think about a traditional meal, a lot of times, traditional coming from the standard American diet, it looks like, and I don't know if you're around my age, I'm just gonna say what traditional meal normally looks like is not what we should be eating. And normally that isn't eating to live. And we were taught that pyramid for so long, which I know by now, hopefully nobody's using that pyramid anymore because we did away with it. But even without using that pyramid, there is still a lot of sadness to the American traditional diet. So, or the Western traditional diet. So you want to make sure, this is another thing that's going to help you to recognize, hey, I need to get some more fruits and veggies and living food in my life. So this is a really good one. I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. Again, it's Eat to Live, Dr. Joel Fuhrman. It's a really, really good one, and I will put it in the link, in our description whenever we share the books. And I have a couple
Yeah.
duplicate books, Tiana, so we might do a little giveaway because I realized when I was on my bookshelf, I'm like, why I got two of these? Why I got two of these?
I know. Look at you. Come through. Giveaway.
Yeah.
Look. Unexpected giveaway.
Yeah.
What?
It's a giveaway. Let's do
Okay.
it.
Do it. Okay. All right. So love that book. Eat to Live. Make sure you all are writing these books down as well, right? Because we want to be proactive in what we're saying, right? Of course, we're going to be posting, the live and snippets from the live and things like that in the books, but write these books down right now. Right now. Okay. All right. So my book now. It's really important for me to showcase information that's not only about health and wellness, clinical outcomes, healthcare outcomes, but it's really important that we also advocate for Black and Brown people to be in this space.
Yes.
So I'm a huge advocate for making sure that I support and follow everybody, right? That goes without saying. But definitely folks who are Black and brown, okay? And definitely women, okay?
Come on,
yeah, so, baby.
Oh, Sister Vegan.
Sister Vegan, okay? This was one of the first books. I didn't pull out my Dick Gregory book because I read that too, but that's not one of my books, baby.
I got it on here.
But I know. But see, look, between Dick Gregory's book and Sister Vegan, let me tell y'all look at this. Let me look. I got all kind of stuff.
Highlight.
Look, all highlighted, all the stuff. So this is Sister Vegan, okay, by Dr. Breeze Harper. She has a PhD. She's a researcher by training. But let me read the whole title, okay, because I got to give it justice. Sister Vegan, Black female vegans speak on food, identity, health, and society. Okay, that's a heavy title. Okay, but this resonated with me because as I was transitioning into this space, I didn't see nobody that looked like me.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah.
I didn't see nobody from the South that looked like me. Hardly. Now, not saying they weren't there, but I didn't really see them. Right. So it wasn't pushed towards my channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. The Black and brown vegans, right? So I had to go out and look for them. So I was like straight up Googling people, okay? And she was one of the first ones out there. She has been vegan for a very, very long time. But she also speaks on how we identify with food and why it's so hard or challenging for women and for Black people to separate from food. Well, it's hard. Let me just back that up. People everywhere identify with food, right? So I say that because we're like, oh, grandma, grandpa cooked that during the celebration, or we had that always, that's a tradition, or we always have it this way, we've always fixed it that way, right? And so I was specifically looking for Black culture, women, right? And how we are so connected to food and how it feels us and it brings our families together. And then here we go talking about we want to be vegan, okay? So we're going to be upsetting some folks, okay? So I needed to talk and speak. This book talked and spoke to me because what she does in the book, she interviews different women, okay? Black women who are on this vegan journey or either have challenging health issues, trying to figure out life when it comes to food, why they can't lose weight, why they can't have a baby, just a whole lot of different things, right? Stress levels, all that kind of thing. So she talks about food identity, and she talks about how society is built in a way, and the systems in our food systems are really not there to support our wellness. What? So she talks about the politics and all the policies around the food system and food deserts in Black and brown communities and in rural communities. So again, this is not a recipe book. This is more around identifying as a Black person in the plant-based space, which sometimes folks are challenged with. I was one of those, like trying to figure out, like, I know this is right. It's healthy to eat plants, but why is everybody looking at me like it ain't?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You
And it is,
know,
especially when you are in the South, when you, and not only that, even being, I lived in several places so far as a plant-based eater. And in those spaces, I have rarely found someone that looks like me that's living this lifestyle.
mhm,
So it is nice to get those books, get information from people who look like you, hear stories from women who look like you, and then the same thing. So like with our brothers, there's books out here for you all too. Like there's
yep,
tons of books that are out, that are newly coming out. There are tons of vegans that are male, that are black, brown, white, all of the above. So you can find
right,
whoever looks like you to identify with. Now, of course, it
mhm,
is becoming something that we see more often, which I am so grateful for. Because in
mhm,
the beginning, it
mhm,
definitely was
mhm,
not the case. It definitely was not the case. And in the beginning, it would be really hard to find authors that look like us.
yeah,
And we're talking about whole food, plant-based, or vegan lifestyle. So that was something that was really hard to come across in the beginning, as where you had to
mhm,
really do a deep dive to
mhm.
find that stuff.
Right, right. And so, like some of the things too, like just some of the chapters in here, she has one of the chapters talks about veganism, stepping away from the status quo,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And how our food and the food that is on our plate and the way our food get to us, right? So the system in which the food is, planted and all that kind of stuff. Like when you get away from the status quo, that is the revolution. Like
Amen.
what you put in your mouth, right? What you hear, what you listen to, right? So getting away from the status quo. So anyway, look, all the stuff is coming off this book right here.
And that's
But
that's what we
it's
were
a good
just
one.
saying in the beginning about getting away. When you're saying getting away from the status quo,
Yeah,
if you're trying to get away from the status quo, you need to follow people who are looking like what you want to receive. And the same
right,
thing, you need to be listening, reading those books, getting that knowledge from the people who are going in the direction you want to go. So that's the bottom line.
right.
It may hurt some people's feelings when you show up at the holiday meal and you don't want to eat what they have on the table. It may hurt some
Right,
feelings. And some
right.
people may say
Or if
something.
the majority, right, or if the majority of your plate is plant-based and you just
Yeah,
have like one piece of meat,
yeah,
right? And you're trying to transition, right?
yeah.
So, and again, if you all have questions, put them down here. I hope these resources are resonating with you all. Again, if you have questions, make sure you're putting them down here so I can see it.
Yeah.
And it can be on the books or it just can be about the lifestyle.
All right, so I'm gonna do my last one, which I already said it's a Dick Gregory, right? So,
Yes,
so
honey. Come
it's
on with Dick
this
Gregory.
is like a reprint, y'all. The old book, that thing is like $100 and some if you can
Yes.
find it anymore, because
And look, I have the old
you
book,
got
but it
some
don't
good
have a
deals.
cover.
Look at a little show off. I want it. I want it so bad. I feel like I'm gonna treat myself and buy it one day. But so it's Dick Gregory's Natural Diet for Folks Who Eat, right? Cooking with Mother Nature. Y'all,
Yep.
this book I've read so many times too. I've read it so many times. And then I also have it on Audible because when I'm on the plane, sometimes it's one of my favorites to kind of listen to. But it's really good because it kind of reminds me of Sister Vegan. But it's from a male perspective, but he talks about the politics of it all. He talks about food deserts. He talks about how he became Whole Foods. He talks about the fasting that he did for political reasons. He just goes into so many details. He talks
Mhm.
about how he transitioned his family into a vegan diet. He talked about the words vegan, vegetarian, and all that stuff. So y'all, Dick Gregory, and he had some comedy thrown in there too. So he said some stuff that makes it a little hilarious. But um,
Good.
I think it's a really good book, and it's not a look at it. It's not a thick book, y'all. This is
Mm-mm.
but it's full of information, full, and I'm just telling you, I can just read it over and over and over. And he talks about food pairing. He talks about things you should avoid, things you should eat more of. He talks about juice fasting, water fasting.
Yep.
So a plethora of information that he has.
Mhm.
And he was a pretty simple vegan
Vegan. Yeah, he
vegetarian.
was.
Like he wasn't
Hmm.
doing all the stuff you see people doing with food. We're not doing all that. Okay. Keep it simple. So I love that about him. And it is just like, and raw vegan. Raw vegan is like something that he speaks highly of.
Yep.
Or eating more whole food, plant-based living foods. Girl, it can just go on. This out of the books that I've shared, this is actually my favorite. So
yeah.
And I have,
And look, it is a hot commodity because when I got it like 8 years ago, I think I got it for like, I got it used for like $20, like $10. But now, since everybody is interested in plant-based and veganism or transitioning, sometimes that book I see it priced for $200
yes.
or more.
I was on eBay. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one of these old ones. Like, and then I was like,
you gonna find it at Goodwill.
Raising their bid. I just put $50. Why y'all going so high? But it's
right, exactly.
But, yeah, but it's really, I mean, and like Tiana said, you want to make sure to support the people in the spaces that may not get the big support, because when I go to the bookstore and I'm asking for these books, they don't have them. So, and now, but also I can say this, they didn't have them as much when we first started this journey. Now when I go into the bookstore, especially the big one, I do see more authors that are Black and brown. But in the beginning, you was not seeing nobody. And Dick Gregory his books, he's been doing this for years, decades. Or he was decades. So but you would be hard pressed to find his book in the bookstore, which is to me is sad. But that's my last. That's my third, and then Tiana's gonna do her third, and then we'll do our dual book.
Yes, and so this is a book too that's not promoting the store, but when I first started, I spent a long time in there, a lot of time. Okay, because I thought that's where all the vegans and plant-based people ate. Okay. And so I was like, well, I am inspiring plant-based vegans. I'm going to go there, right? And so they have all these books, right? And so this book in particular resonated with me because I was coming from a very processed, junk food vegan. And so I was like, I need to be eating more whole foods. And so, look, very basic title, The Whole Foods Diet, okay? By John Mackey, okay? The Whole Foods Diet, okay? And so, again, this was early on, but I have, honey, look, I have went through this book too.
Yeah.
There are some recipes in here, some simple, pretty recipes in here. He gives examples of, different, contributors and folks who have transitioned. So I love that. There is some, conversation about what is whole food versus processed food.
Yeah.
So these are like very, very like simple basics that I think people should understand as they're going into this space, because you can get so confused because everybody want to put their spin, right, on what they think vegan is or plant-based is or whatever. And let me tell you something. Now that there's quote unquote money in this space, you got a lot of companies now throwing plant-based on stuff. And so folks think that that's, healthy or whatever. So this kind of gives you like some basics of like the definitions of what whole foods is and how you, read your labels and things like that. He also talks about the underlying problem, which we all, talk about when it comes to healthcare and all that kind of stuff. But then he talks about knowing your why. Right. Yeah. So I think that's something that we take for granted too, is like, why are you doing this? Are you doing this because it's trendy? Are you doing it because you really have some underlying health issues you want to deal with? Or are you doing it because good doggone well you need to be not taking 15,
Pills.
prescriptions?
Yeah.
Right, pills. So are you doing it because you want to be an example for your kids, or for your spouse, for yourself? Have you lost yourself and you're trying to figure out, what's going on? He does have a 28-day food plan in here. And so it's just, it is very thick. So I'm going to let y'all know that. Okay.
Feeling is thick enough to share probably.
It's, look, pretty thick.
Pretty thick.
Pretty thick.
The 2C.
But I'm a reader. And so I, take my time to,
Yeah.
read either in the morning or, while I'm working out or whatever. So, and two, I'm like somebody like, once I'm like laser focused on something, I'm like, give
Yes.
it all to
I
me.
want it
Give it
all.
all to me.
Same.
I
Yeah.
want it all. Like I need to understand what's going on. Right. So yeah. So this is, pretty good book. Again, the Whole Foods Diet, the life-saving plan for health and longevity.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah,
I like
good book. Yep.
And that's a good one. I haven't read that one. I have to look into it. But a lot of
Hmm.
these books that we mentioned do include recipes in the books as well. Now the ones that I have shared with you all, they are all pretty much whole food plant-based books, which means they're talking about the recipes are going to be very clean. And what I want to say about that is if you're in the middle of
So get
transitioning,
ready.
a very clean recipe may not be pleasing to your palate. So you may have to adjust the recipe to make it pleasing to your palate. And that is when it
Say,
is
say that. Say that one more time, sis.
adjust the recipe to make it pleasing to your palate. Add some seasoning because some of these recipes
Don't have no season.
don't got no salt. They got some herbs, but don't got no salt. So you gotta adjust it. You gotta adjust it. So
Not even a little bit.
and that's the thing too. Like you want to. Well, I'm gonna talk about it when we get into the next book because it was in there too. I remember this. Oh, this is another one.
Right.
All right, we ready?
We ready.
All
Da,
right.
da, da, da.
How not to
Not
die, oh,
die.
y'all.
And why are we smiling?
Because this book. Now
Baby,
it's a thick one, but
it's a thicken. But
when I tell you this is like a whole plant-based food
oh,
Bible. I'm telling you,
yes,
this
yes.
baby is loaded with so much knowledge, so much information. It's Tiana.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. How Not to Die by Michael Greger, MD. Again, he's a medical doctor. He has been in this space for like, I don't know,
very long,
forever.
a very
Very, very,
long
very
time.
long time.
Yeah.
And so again, it just goes over all of the diseases. Well, I shouldn't say all, but a large
A
majority
lot
of
of
the
them.
diseases.
And by chapter.
Yeah.
So it's like if you
Chapter by chapter.
yeah. So
See,
that
look at
makes it
this.
really nice if
Y'all
you
see this?
have that makes it
Y'all see this?
exactly that makes it really nice if you have a certain
Right.
illness that you're focusing on. I know he talks about
Right.
Parkinson's, diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
blood diseases of the blood. He goes into great detail of so
How
many different diseases.
not to die from infections.
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
it's y'all. I'm telling you, it's like a plant-based Bible. The thing is loaded,
It is
and
loaded.
and he talks about one of the things that I was going to mention that he talks about when people ask him what he eats, and he was like, "You don't really need to worry about what I eat because he's been doing this
Right.
for so long that
Right.
his palate it may not be set up the way your palate is set up." And so if
Right.
he's like, "I'm
Right.
drinking," I think he said when he first went to a whole plant-based lifestyle that he met someone that said they would just drink a green smoothie every morning. And then he was like, if I tell you to drink a green smoothie right off the rip, you're like, so you want me to drink a salad? Like, that ain't going to be good. So,
It's not appealing
but you
to
want to
everybody.
transition into that, and you can transition into that by making your regular smoothie and adding a cup of spinach. And then as you
Mm-hmm.
continue to do that thing, you end up being like, you know what? I can take out one of the fruits and add 2 cups of spinach because your
Right.
palate changes. So he gives you wisdom like that. But this book, baby, I'm like Tiana.
Yes.
I got highlights. I got,
Right.
we
Exactly.
got the highlights. Like this book right here,
Right.
baby. This
Right.
this is
And so the title again, just to repeat the title, How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger,
mm-hmm.
uh, with Gene Stones. I want to make sure we say that with Gene Stones. So again, very, very, very intense book, but it's good. You don't have to read it in all one setting. It's chapters on here: how not to die from heart disease,
Yeah.
how not to die from lung disease, how not to die from brain diseases, digestive cancers, infections.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on. This is the index here.
Yeah.
Of the contents, and so it goes disease by disease,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just a really, really good book. He does have some stuff in here around herbs and spices, things like that. But again, we are offering tools, resources, and books that you can use as a guide, okay? Nothing is going to be perfect. So you may make one of these recipes and be like, my goodness, this is hideous, okay? Right, okay? So, again, your palate may not be ready for some of these very, very clean recipes, but you can modify those things
Yeah.
by adding in your seasonings and things like that. But don't get overwhelmed. We
Right.
are just sharing at least 6 books total, 3 from myself, 3 from at Southern Vegan Eats, and this one that we have together collectively. Look at this. Look,
Girl, that book.
it's talking.
That book is, and it be talking. I'm telling you, it's a really good book.
Talking.
Yeah.
But we're sharing these things because it's how you discover the foods that's scientifically proven to prevent and reverse. Okay, prevent and reverse, and that's what that's what it's all about. So, but yeah, so really, really good tools.
And he also, Dr. Greger, has an app that is free. You can download it. It's called The Daily
Yeah.
Dozen. And I love
Yep.
it. So I don't use it all
Yep.
the time, but when I first read his book, I was using it faithfully. But after you use it for a while, you kind of get used to what you should be having in your life. But he goes over the Daily Dozen in the book. But if you want to
Right.
download the app again, it's a free app, and it's like a tick, like a check mark. So like, I'm not into counting calories. I used to be a calorie freak, no more.
I don't count calories.
But if you're trying to track how you're doing, or you want to track to make sure you're getting the proper nutrients in, I really do like that, because it's as easy as just checking the boxes. Like he might say, you want to hit 3 whole fruits for the day, and then you just check off that you had your 3 whole fruits. He may check that you had flaxseed. I know he's big on flaxseed, so make sure you had your flaxseed, your B12. But it's a simple. I don't even think it's not even 20 items on that list. It's a very short list.
And it's very applicable and very simple. So like pretty much just like check it off. Like I had my beans today. I had my flax seeds today. I had my whatever today. My cruciferous vegetables
today.
Yes. So you just, you check it. So it just really kind of guides you without being like overwhelming and counting calories and things like that. And maybe that's need to be our next slide, because when I stopped counting calories.
He also talks about the
long time ago
factor of the vegetables. So when he talks about the cruciferous vegetables, he goes into why you should have those. So that is, y'all, this is a really good book. This is the one. This is a good book. And we will put all that information in the description for you guys when we post a live. So make sure and check it out. If you want to join us for the 21-day challenge that's going to be coming up in April, make sure you DM us with your email address if you have not done so already. That way we can get you added to the list and get that information sent over to you. If you have any questions, now is your time, because what happens a lot of times is we say, bye, y'all, and then our DM get all the questions. And then we come back and, we try to answer you in the DMs, but sometimes it's really hard. We might have to do a questions and answers day one day, but ask your questions now, ask away. They don't have to be booked later.
And this is Right. And this is a safe space, like non-judgmental. So I know sometimes people may be nervous to ask questions. Even if it's a simple question, what you think is simple, somebody else probably want to know it too. So just go ahead and just, ask the question. Hopefully, were all these books, helpful to you? Did you all put a 1 down if you thought they were resourceful? We went over How Not to Die. Was the main one that we talked about collectively. You all put a 1 down if you thought that this live and the resources were good to share. Going back over mine, The Whole Foods Diet by Dr. John Mackey. And with some other people down here too. Alana Podell, I believe. Oh no, Alana Podell and Matthew Letterman. The Whole Foods Diet. And then I had Sister Vegan, by Dr. Breeze Harper. And then, of course, I keep this by my nightstand, The Food Prescription for Better Health by Dr. Baxter Montgomery. Thank you, Fashion for Thought. We appreciate that. Thank you. We appreciate you being here and asking questions and participating.
Absolutely.
And what about, go ahead and review yours too, sis.
So I have Whole, and this is Rethinking the Science of Nutrition. And this was Dr. T. Colin Campbell. You know what book he has? I don't know why. The China Study.
Oh yeah, the China study is, that whole study is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I knew. I'm like, I know that I read more from him. So okay, so that
Yeah.
one is really good. Oh, and it does say on back to y'all, it says with Howard Jacobson, PhD. So down there in the corner, give him his credit. And then we have Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Furman. This one, another outstanding book. Yeah, really outstanding. And last but not least, Dick Gregory's Natural Diet for Folks Who Eat, Cooking with Mother Nature. So
Yeah.
we hope you guys got something from the books that we shared. And if you're looking for something simple, we shared some simple ones. And if you're looking for something that can just be on your nightstand and you get to read it, you know, that's really great. And again, remember that all of these books are available on Audible, Kindle, so that you can make them more convenient for your life.
Secondhand stores.
Yes, secondhand stores. So make it more convenient for your life, whatever works better for you. And get some knowledge in your head about this journey, y'all, because you need all the tools that you can have, all of them. That way, when you're at the holiday dinners or the office parties and you're saying no and somebody has something to say, you have something to reply back with because you're armed with so much knowledge. So that's one thing I like about the books. You absorb so much of it, and that's why we reread them over and over again, because it's another way to help that knowledge to stick. But also, it's a tool for when you're communicating with people who are, number one, inquisitive about the plant-based lifestyle, and number two, for the people who are haters. I mean, we need for both.
We give you the stare right there. Yeah. No hating allowed. Okay, on these plants, baby.
Yeah, it's like whichever side you're on, we got something for you.
Exactly. And thank you all for everybody that's joining on. If you're just now joining, I am Dr. Tiana Jenkins. Please follow if you are not following. And we have at Southern Vegan Eats, also known as Azure Gardner. Please follow her as well. Tonight, like we do weekly, we have our Wholeness Wednesdays, where we come on live for 45 minutes to an hour and share some wisdom, whether it's through literature, journals, articles, things of that nature. Sometimes we cook, we eat, we chat it up, we ask, answer questions if people have questions about this journey, whether they're just now starting or if they have been on this journey for a long time, or if they done fell off and they're trying to find how to get it together. Okay. This is the no judgment zone. And so tonight we covered 6 books that we have read on this journey collectively for over 15 years, and why they were important, some highlights about them, how you can find them. We also share some free tools and resources as well that you can download that are free. And also, if you are interested, which I know you are, we have a 21-day vegan and detox challenge that is coming up. However, we're going to need you all to inbox us, myself, or at Southern Vegan Eats, that you are interested, so we can get you on the email list, because you will be working one-on-one with us for 21 days, and we'll be doing all the things, sharing this type of information in detail, cooking with you, introducing you to new recipes, new resources and tools, because we're just going through like a snippet of like really solid evidence-based stuff. Okay. So in this group, you get to work with us live. Anytime you have questions, we'll be there to answer them while we're cooking. If you make something taste nasty, we can help you save the dish.
That's right. We got the repair. Got you.
We got the repair for you, okay? Helping you when you go into the grocery store. How do you deal with pressures and stressors from folks who are like, why are you doing that? It's not all that serious. So it's a lot of things, right? So yeah, so join the 21-day vegan and detox challenge. We're going to be doing vegan food, because we know some folks are like, look here now, I'm not ready for no tofu. They may be ready for some fried cauliflower. Right. But we're going to have some vegan food and some different vegan dishes. But we're also going to have some raw food in there as well, to you about juicing, detoxing your body, and smoothies and things like that. So yeah, Thank
So
you all for
we
joining.
should do, because we went over books with y'all, and both of us have books. So we shared some
Mhm.
books that were really helpful on the journey. But just so you know, we also have books of our own. So
We do.
I have a book that's great for transitioning to a plant-based lifestyle. It has mock meats up in there. It has some juice recipes in there, some whole foods, some all the works, right? So that is the name of the book is Southern Vegan Eats. You can find it on Amazon. You can download it on Kindle. You can buy it from Barnes and Noble. You can find it, okay? And then I have a 5-day juice cleanse ebook, which you can purchase by clicking the link in my bio. You can also click the link in my bio to get to that cookbook. But those
Mhm.
books are available for you to purchase, and that's the books that I have. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And so I have a book as well. It's Cooking in Color, simple plant-based recipes. And so these are things that can really like simplify your life, like starting out.
Yeah.
So nothing that you would like think that is different or weird, right? Plants
Yes.
are our friends. You can get it on our website at plateithhealthy.com. We have it in hard copy and we have a digital version as well. So you can download immediately
Yeah.
and access that. We also have different other tools and resources on the website, such as cooking classes that are pre-recorded. If you're interested in that, then you can have access to that immediately. We also have a food product line. If you look at the link in my bio, it's called Onita Lee Foods. It's ONITALEE Foods. FOODS. And so we manufacture in our commercial kitchen vegan cookies, granola, and jam, and we ship that nationwide. So go over there to Onita Lee Foods, follow, like, share, all that in order, and you will get those vegan friendly, dairy, good to the bone cookies,
Yes.
baby. Okay. And that granola and that jam. So we appreciate you for all of that.
Yes. All right, y'all. Well,
Yes, yes, yes.
I guess we about to be out of here. And if you have
I
any
know.
questions, you can get them in tonight. Make sure and send them in the DM. Make sure and send your email, and we will catch y'all next week.
Yes, yes. Oh, and before we forget that, did you want to go ahead and you want to do the giveaway later, or what do
Oh,
you want to do yet?
yes, yes. So you know
Okay.
what? That's a good thing. So I have. I'm gonna grab the 2 duplicate books that I have. Let me do that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And while Azure is getting that, make sure, again, if you're not following us both, make sure you're following us so that you can get notifications and turn your notifications on too so you can know when we go live as well. And we want to hear from you all. So go ahead and ask your questions now, or you can ask them later. Of course, we like to go ahead and answer questions while we're live because other people may have questions as well about this lifestyle or about the books that we shared and all that good stuff. Yeah, so hopefully you all found this helpful. I know when I first started, I needed information and resources. And so I was just digging and digging and digging and following and Googling and all that kind of stuff. And so definitely like the things that you can find on the internet that are quick and easy to find and locate, but definitely like the hard copy books that you can get as well. Another book while she's getting her stuff there, I did not share. It's an old school book because I'm really big into herbs and things like that, including herbs into my recipes, into our recipes. And so I shared earlier for those who just joined, I'm from Arkansas. And so I have family members from Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and the Carolinas. So I have a history of grandmothers and ancestors, so to speak, who use a lot of herbs and things of that nature in our foods. Nothing, strange about that, but we did. And so, and just cooking, naturally from the earth, etc., right? Because it's normal. But yeah, so Back to Eden is a really good herbal book too. I was just telling them about, some herbs and stuff like that. And so Back to Eden, slipped you Anki, yeah, it's from Little Rock. Oh, yeah, your fam is from Little Rock. Yes, yes, of course. Yes, tell your fam to come on over here and be following at Dr. Tiana Jenkins. I'm right here in the great state of Arkansas. But yeah, I was just telling about herbs and how Back to Eden is a really good book that talks about herbs and herbalism and things like that. So it's
Yes,
really good to
yes,
include those various herbs when you're seasoning your food, or if you want to drink them in teas. as well.
Yes. And
So
herbs have so many benefits. Girl, we got so many topics we can talk about with y'all.
I know.
All
Lots,
right.
lots.
So
Okay, so how you want to do the
one of the
giveaway,
books
sis?
that I have a duplicate of, this one here is The Complete Guide to Fasting.
Okay.
Right? This is a really good one. It talks about heal your body through intermittent fasting, alternate day fasting, and extended fasting by Jason Fung, MD, with Jimmy Moore. So this one, it's really good. It has lots of information. It has a couple of, I think it had like a couple. When I say a couple of recipes, but
Okay.
it's but this is more about, this is a fasting one, right? So I do like
Okay.
that. But also I have 2 of the China
Oh,
studies.
that's
So that's
good.
really, this is a really big deal, right? So this is a really big deal.
Look,
This,
look, give it to me. No, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna take y'all. Sis.
she like
Yeah,
go.
we should have talked about this.
So who
Honey,
said they need
that's a good book,
you
y'all.
and Nikki?
It's a good book, honey. Y'all should have got that.
It's a really good one. So how we gonna do this? I mean, the first
I
person to
don't
say
know. Look, slip you, you and Nikki, you and Nikki said she need that. I don't know which one she was talking about. Which one?
which one? Let's see. We got The Complete Guide to Fasting.
Or the
45
China
$2.
study.
It's go time. I know that's right. And
Baby,
the
that's
China study.
right, okay?
So y'all let me know. So Slip, you and Nikki, you were the first one that said I need that. Which one did you need?
I think it's the fasting one, sis.
Okay.
I think. I don't want to speak for you, Nikki. Go ahead. She said both or either, please.
Well, I'm gonna give you either, and if somebody else wants one, speak now, forever hold your peace. Because if nobody speaks now, then I'm gonna give her both.
Exactly. It's slip you,
And it was
Nikki.
the fasting.
Um, yeah, she said it was the fast one. Make sure you inbox us. Like I said, no pressure, but pressure. We have this 21-day vegan and raw detox challenge. And so we definitely want people to participate who really have a desire for that because it's important, right? It's go time. It's go time every time, okay? For me and for sure, every day, okay? And so you need some support in this way. So, yeah, I think it was, since I think she's the one.
Okay, then make sure and shoot me your mailing address, or shoot me a DM, and then we'll communicate. So we send your address to anybody, but it's gonna be me. But now get it in the mail to you this week. So do that, and then we will get you taken care of. All righty.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Glad y'all joined us tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and post the replay sometime. Might not be tonight, but you'll get the replay soon, and it'll have all of the details of our books in there for you guys. Okay.
Yes. So much love.
All right.
Everybody, thank you all for joining. All right. Bye. See you next week. Bye.